Round 4 against Pager. Yeah, I think these two games, well, possible caption for them is trying to push the advantage home. But you had some problems. So in both of them, you were winning at some point.
Well, especially the fourth game. Yeah.
Yeah, in this one, you had an overwhelming advantage. Oh, well, getting into it then, E4 succeeds. You don't feel the Caro-Kann, that's good.
Oh, you saw the video?
I saw part of it,
Okay.
and you put it on the comments too.
Oh, right.
So
yeah.
yeah,
But it's not that I don't think it's good. I'm never scared. Like, I'm happy to play against it. Always welcome to play against it.
Openings you feel comfortable playing against.
Yeah, because like pretty much every variation I'm happy to play. So that's why I'm very comfortable against it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you did great in the opening. Really, it takes, knight takes, while he plays the
classical
line.
Yeah.
Blanca classical. H4, and now he plays a very odd move, H5.
Yeah. We've talked about this too, because I had another over the board game where my opponent played H5 as well. So
what is it with H5 that everyone?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think because he also spent some. Oh, how come it says draw here? Like, oh, sorry, it just ends. It maybe it's because you hid the next move. But okay, I thought the PGN cut off here.
Oh no, it's okay. Yeah, I just hit the...
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think like because he thought for a while there, and I was kind of surprised like why even earlier he thought for a while before. No, once he played knight c3, he was thinking. Yeah, I bet you because these days most people play e5, the advanced variation, and I think he was just trying to remember what to play against knight c3 because most people, at least like most newer players, play the advanced variation. They don't really want to play the older classical line, and so I think he just wasn't really familiar with h4, honestly, even though it's so common. Yeah. And so I guess he thought it was like a natural move to just stop me in my tracks. Because if you know theory here, h5 makes no sense.
If he was thinking already after you played knight c3, he was probably trying to remember something about this. Yeah, he got to remember bishop f5, bishop g6, and then he wasn't sure how to face the advance. So yeah, he wanted to get rid of it altogether. c3, e6. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but this is already very comfortable, and you played very well. I like this move.
Yeah, well, this is all part of my repertoire.
Yeah, this is very uncomfortable for the bishop. In the h6 variation, you can go to h7. Now with the pawn on h5 hanging, yeah, knight f4 is going to be a problem. Well, he gives up the bishop, which is not the most comfortable, but he didn't have a chance otherwise, I guess. And he plays knight d7. I bet you were pretty comfortable at this point in the game.
I was comfortable, but a couple moves prior, it was really a battle in my head if I wanted to play knight c4 or bishop f4 a few moves back.
Oh, bishop f4, so that if he takes, you take back with the knight.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Round here.
Yeah, here, yeah. I spent 11 minutes on this.
Wow. And bishop f4, what do you think?
I think I was concerned about queen c7. I think that it was either queen c7 or knight f6 I was concerned about. It might have been queen c7. Yeah. I think it was queen c7 because then I'm like, well, now what? Now my knight is still on h3, and yeah, what am I going to do now? And like if I take on d6, well, I'm going to have to play queen. I guess I could still continue with like queen d2 and then knight f4. But if I go knight f4, then I get the bishop pair. So that was kind of how I ended up choosing knight f4.
Yeah, and I think it's a simple solution that should give you an advantage. So knight f4 is fine. This is interesting in the sense that if he takes, you take back with a knight.
Oh, well, I would. Yeah, that's what I would love. Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at knight f6 too. The only problem is that now the queen is, well, has a heavy load. She has to defend these seats. So after queen b3, I'm not sure how he would deal with this. Other than taking, but taking is a disaster. You take back, you hit g6, you hit b7. So the queen is a bit overworked at this stage. But I don't know if knight f6 is the move either. You mentioned queen c7, which makes sense. But then again, what about something like queen b3?
Huh? Queen b3?
Yeah. He can't take twice because queen takes b7.
Oh boy,
and the rook
that's so weird. Okay, it's just so weird. Okay, wow. Yeah, queen b3.
It's a trick. I don't know if it if it works that well here, to be honest.
That's weird.
Just something to consider. I'm not even sure how forced he is to take on f4 then. I mean, b6 would be a concession, and that would be interesting for you, I guess. But I think you were right overall. I mean, bishop f4, and this is not the trade you want, definitely.
I thought, yeah, I thought knight f4 was more straightforward because black has to take the knight on f4, and so I guarantee myself the bishop pair, and the position is still simple to play, and I have a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, this doesn't look like black shouldn't have the defense. For example, knight e7 might make sense. So even when your knight gets to f4, after knight takes, h4 is also under attack. So it's not, I don't think it's that clear. I don't know what here, queen d2, so that you can take and put the knight on f4.
Or
maybe.
Still queen b3 maybe.
Queen b3, this is still a thing. But now h5 isn't under fire, so I guess you can take, and queen c7.
Yeah, but then we take on. Oh, I see. Yeah, we can't take on g6.
Yeah, this time around it's defended by the knight. I don't know how terrible this is.
We could almost take on e6. Oh, almost. Right.
Something like this.
Yeah.
Queen c7.
Yeah.
Knight takes.
Yeah.
It's a bit over optimistic.
Yeah, but there's almost something there. Now e6 is a bit, could be a target. I'm thinking of the knight g5 variation of the modern variation of the Caro-Kann, where there's stuff on e6.
Sacrifices.
Yeah, like maybe even, I don't know, bishop c4 probably doesn't work. Maybe it does. Bishop c4, b5, and then bishop takes e6.
So bishop takes as an idea here looks interesting, definitely.
Yeah.
I can still play knight e5, so yeah. I guess it's still.
Well, no, well, knight d5, but you're talking about knight d5 right now.
Knight d5, knight takes g6.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm thinking about this, so that now we threaten to take.
Could I go
Well,
knight g6 here and then bishop e6?
yeah, looks like you can. Knight takes, bishop takes e6, f takes e6, queen takes e6, check, knight e7, knight f5 maybe? Oh, oof. Knight f8. um,
I like the I mean, but you know, we castle, we get a rook on e1. It looks good.
looks scary. Yeah.
But I wonder what about G or FG? Like knight takes G6, F takes G6.
That's automatically good for
Okay,
you. You win a pawn.
okay, right, yeah.
So this variation should
Yeah.
be the critical one. I mean, he needs to take the piece, otherwise this doesn't make a lot of sense for him. And now I'm guessing knight f5 should be the move.
I was thinking castling.
Castling. Well, he might bring the pieces to defense
Okay.
very quickly. I don't think White has all the time in the world to attack here. At least it looks kind of unlikely. For example, if you castle, something like knight f8 might be considered, because then the queen will defend the knight and you might castle queenside very quickly.
I like this though, even though we're down. I mean, because you know we have 2 pawns as well for the extra knight.
Yeah, though it's not that. I mean, it's not that great compensation if the attack fails.
Yeah. What about knight e4?
I'm not sure it does. This
what-
knight e4.
Yeah, I guess knight e4. I'm trying to get into
I'm
d6.
guessing rook h6. Yeah, this move is key because it controls d6 too.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is that easy, because this threatens everything. This looks like one of those Knight of Sicilians where where the black king is all over the place.
Check. Knight g7.
Check on this seat. Or knight takes. Yeah, we have to choose between those two. White has a perpetual if he wants. That's. He can play knight d6 and knight f7 forever. And knight takes g6, king d8 is. Definitely messy.
Knight g7, queen f6, maybe. Is that too slow?
And it's keeping.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a rook to
Probably
e1.
not. Yeah. No, it definitely looks dangerous. I would be a bit risky.
Yeah, and our pawns are starting to look scary now too. Like we got 7 pawns.
Yeah, no, this is a threat. Yeah, it looks.
Yeah, because I know in the modern variation, you know, where in the Carol Khan where black plays knight d7 on move 4, I think, and then white plays knight g5. Often white can sack a piece on e6 and just have an incredible attack, similar to what we were just looking at. So, and even though white is down a minor piece, the attack is just formidable. Like it's I think it's like usually like +3 or so for white, even though white's down a piece. So so like getting into a position like that, I might feel okay about the position that we were just looking at as white.
Yeah, all of this looks quite dangerous for black, to be honest. Bishop f4 is interesting. I mean, connected with this idea and the pawn hanging here, it might amount to something. Though I like your move.
And that's actually my repertoire move. I was just really debating between those two.
Yeah, the other creates some different type of practical problems, but this is easy for you. And now you spent 12 minutes to play bishop g5.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird move. I mean, though
it is weird.
The pawn is definitely defended. But the bishop is really well placed for now, at least. This probably had to do that with the fact that you didn't want to exchange bishops, the light square bishop.
Yeah, so well, because I was torn on a few moves, and I was really thinking about bishop e2, right, just attacking h5, and then I thought knight f6, and so I think I decided to lead with the bishop. I kind of thought the moves transposed, but for some reason I went with bishop g5 first instead of bishop e2. But yeah, lying behind all of my thought process the whole time was I felt that my bishop was a very good bishop because of all my pawns on dark squares. So I just thought that my bishop could just, fly around on these squares. And normally in this classical Caro-Kann, white trades the light squared bishop. But here I didn't want to do that because I just loved my bishop. I just thought it was so good because of these pawns. So I was willing to get rid of this bishop, my dark squared bishop, because I felt this was my bad bishop. By definition, I think it still is. And I did not want to trade this off. And so, yeah, I was torn.
Well, now this bishop is awesome. I mean, it would be your bad bishop, so to speak. He still had his dark square bishop because he will have some control of dark squares. But his problem now is the dark squares. I mean, the dark squares are his problem. This is somewhat a hole in his position. G5 is a bit of a problem. His central pawns are on light squares, and he's kind of relying in one of two pawn breaks, which are made a lot harder because of this bishop of yours. In this case, this is your good bishop, which is strange. This bishop is also a good one, of course, because of, well, in classical terms it is. The main problem you have with the light square bishop here is that it can't really go to its preferred square in these situations, which is d3, of course. And this bishop is quite good in that respect, in the sense that it got there first. Bishop d3 is not easy to achieve exchanging them. So your decision is okay in the sense that you can play bishop e2, for example, it's all right. But at some point, you're probably going to play bishop d3 because you're not going to have a better job for the light square bishop. Strange as that might seem. In this situation, this is probably the bishop that's going to exploit black's weaknesses long term. But it's understandable. I mean, trying to keep the pair of bishops, because it's a pair of bishops, is normally a sound decision. But there's also the saying that one of the advantages of having the pair of bishops is that you get to decide when to trade one of them favorably. This might be the case. For example, let's think about what this actually does to the pawn structure. You eliminated one defender of g6. That's another thing. At some point, black will be hard-pressed to play g6 and defend this pawn. And that would be just way too weakening. This bishop would be the king of the board in that case. And he kind of is now. And you don't actually need the bishop pair for that to be true. But with this problem, black might even need to play g6 at some point, which would be just terrible from a positional standpoint. I don't know if it makes sense, if the explanation makes sense.
It does, and like I considered, okay, maybe I do just play bishop d3. Because this bishop kind of ties me down, as you said. But I just couldn't let it go. I thought this bishop was so awesome. I really wanted to hang on to it, and I really liked putting pressure on h5. I really liked that idea and to punish him. And that's why
I still hold a significant advantage. It might be a bit harder to handle compared to just trade the bishops and everything's all right. But it's still objectively better for you. I mean, all of this bishop g5, even though it might not be the best move because you can play bishop e2 without this, And queen d2. I still think your position is quite superior. I mean, at any stage you can play bishop d3. Even here, even here you can play bishop d3. You mentioned it, that Stockfish gave this move. What happens after queen takes b2, for example? Is that a move, or is it?
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of bishop takes d3, queen takes d3, and then queen takes b2. Yeah, so I guess if that move order, there's rook b1, queen takes a2, and then rook takes b7. And we're infiltrating, and now black is really stuck in the center, and he's not going to castle queenside anymore. I think I might have been worried possibly about, and then queen a1 check.
Oh, and yeah, you might have not noticed that you can just go back, for example, because the queen is defending b1.
And if queen takes b2 right away, it's the same thing pretty much. I'd probably just play rook. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, so if queen, so if queen takes b2, I think that's what I saw, and then I just abandoned it over the board. I think after queen takes b2, I didn't like what was happening to c3. Yeah. So I just ditched that line.
He still has some problems though, because you can take on g6, and that's really weakening for. And can he take on c3?
Well, no, because then we have queen. We have bishop d2, and then we can return our light squared bishop back.
Excellent. We win a piece in this case. Perfect. So if he can't take, then he has to go something like f takes g6. Oh, you might even castle here into safety, and then rook e1. I don't think you care anymore at this stage. This looks really frightening for him. I don't think it's even possible to take here. 94 might be GG at this point.
Yeah. Even rook e1 maybe. Yeah.
His pieces are all over the place. This just loses to knight here, and if queen b4, I guess rook b1 is just too much. Still has queen a3, but still looks like a disaster.
I mean, he's almost mated there, right? After knight e4, it's almost mate. I guess
he only has f3.
Yeah, and then queen f3, and then I guess knight f6.
How does he finish his development? I mean, knight f6 and castle should be his goal, but if you play knight e4 and queen f3, then this is not possible anymore. I mean, it's just this is a line you don't need to calculate.
How would we follow up on that though? It's white to move here. No, it's black. So
it's black to move.
If queen c3, knight e4.
e3, I guess it's.
Okay. Well, no, but I was saying, like, I was just thinking if we got into d6. So let's just say he went queen a5 for whatever reason. So knight e4, queen a5, and then knight d6, king f8, and then queen f3, and then knight f6.
Oh, well, in any case, after king f8, I don't know if we help him this way.
Yeah.
Maybe something like queen b3.
Okay. Or rook e1.
There's so much. You can take the pawn if you want some of your material back and just keep attacking. And there are so many good options for you in that case that.
Okay.
And as you mentioned, here rook e1 looks excellent. without 94 even, because 94, yeah, queen a3 still defends these seats.
Actually, what about queen b1?
Queen b1 right now. Whoa, this is great. This is bad.
Yeah, and b7, yeah.
Yeah, this one deserves an exclamation mark. This is even stronger. Yeah, if I see this, I just discard everything else. This is just yeah, the position is just falling apart. I mean, this taking on b2 looks crazy, and it is even after something better like this. I don't know, going this. I don't even know if it's necessary to go for this. You might even castle now, and well, you're threatening to win back the pawn, keeping all your positional advantage in the process. You don't even need to give up the pawn, I guess.
F6?
Yeah, this is...
Oh, no, F6, queen g6, probably.
Yeah. F6 is always committal. Knight gf6 and castle is probably what he should...
Can he play f5?
F5?
Because it stops our knight from going knight e4 as well.
Yeah, but what about this guy? I mean, the structure is just...
King f7.
I don't think that's going to work. Something like this. Well, no, maybe... King f7, I might even consider knight takes. Not that I think it's necessary. King f7, even queen c4, threatening this and this.
Yeah. We're swarming now.
Yeah, f5 is just too much. Your bishop is well.
Oh yeah, and then and rook b1 is going to hurt. Rook b7, yeah.
Yeah, this is total collapse. this. I don't see that he can even defend all the threats at the same time. That said, bishop d3 is not crashing. He can take and play a normal game, but still, it's kind of the same type of position we were talking about.
I guess castles?
At some point, h5. Now you castle. Yeah, he probably castles too.
Where?
That's a good question. This is so hard to do without the dark square bishop.
Yeah,
it's really risky.
Yeah, queenside castling in the Caro-Kann is usually not good.
Well, I think in the game something similar happened.
He did a queenside castle. Yeah.
Yeah, and the problem is that he has no attack whatsoever on the king side. It's going to be really hard for him to get something going there.
Yeah.
And your plan is just so easy to follow through. You mentioned here that you were a bit scared about an attack on the king side, but don't you think about it? I'm sorry. A bit scary to castle king side. You put in the comments here.
I'm always scared. I'm always scared, man. You know me. Like I'm a very scared player. I'm always paranoid about, I don't like to give my opponent any chances of attacking. I've got a little bit of Petrosian in me. But I knew that. Yeah, exactly. And I've never felt comfortable with like kingside pawn storms. I've often had difficulty in against the Grand Prix Sicilian, that type of attack. I've just always been uncomfortable with that type of thing. However, objectively, I felt that this was correct because, it's not easy. He's played h5. It's really hard for him to initiate a pawn storm now. And he also has two pieces in front of his pawns. It's really hard for him to push forward. And even if he does, I'm going to be a million times faster. I've got full reign to attack on the queen side. So I felt it was the right decision. It's just, nevertheless, it's always slightly uncomfortable to me.
Yeah, but there are some, there are some position factors that, well, point to him not having a chance of really attacking on the king side. You have the dark squares, and as you say, it's really hard to get a break in. I mean, this is something like this is just not going to happen. That's way too far-fetched. The other thing is that you hold a space advantage in the center, so it's not that easy for him to just bring the pieces to the king side somehow. His queen is actually on the wrong side of the board in that in that respect. It's not easy for him to build up an attack on your king, which is quite safe actually. And you do have a quick a quick kill with a4 a5 or b4 b5.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. He played e5. I guess he should. Oh, I'm sorry. I just have to get done. Just a second.
Sure. Yep. No problem.
Be right back.
Yep. So let's see. Hello, Mr. Sabon. And I think Mr. Sabon's the only one in here right now. Well, unless we have a couple lurkers. As usual, ran into some technical issues at the beginning of the stream, but we're rolling now. Okay, welcome back.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah. So you Black just had played e5 here.
Yeah, which I mean, otherwise, I don't know what he's going to do to get some card play going. In fact, you might play bishop f4 yourself and cut his king before he can't really leave the center of the board. So I really like your reaction here. This is great. You weren't paralyzed by fear of what might happen.
Right. Yeah, because that's the type of thing I would normally be scared of, right? Yeah, because my queen facing the rook. Yeah, exactly. But I felt,
I loved it.
Yeah, I felt, but that I'm actually okay. You know, just keep my head on straight here. You know, there's nothing that can actually harm me if he takes on d4. So I'll leave the queen there.
Exactly. One point is that even if you lose this pawn, it would be maybe a ruin for his king. It's just so wide open. Even if you lose a pawn in the process, you might have an attack that's way big. It takes this, you're playing this already. Yeah, I don't think that even losing this pawn might be a problem if you break through on the queen side. He tried this long maneuver, knight f8, the idea of some knight e6 at some point, and you played great. a5, queen c7, a6, excellent, b6. And now you played queen e3, which is all right. I mean, you mentioned two moves here, f4, rook fe1. You mentioned that stockfish.
Yeah, I know. That's weird though.
It's a real weird move.
Yeah.
I'll make it.
It seemed unnecessary. Like why? Yeah, unnecessary, complicated to play f4. It did not seem. Yeah.
You hold all your advantage here, and some.
I remember
because queen e3 is making. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember. Yeah, he played knight e6 here. I'm pretty sure he blunders on the next move.
But you're making him take a hard decision, because takes is just awesome for you. The
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would welcome that.
And otherwise, you're taking there. I mean, queen e3 puts really a lot of pressure on him. Knight e6, this is the moment where you miss your first big chance.
Right, yeah. I simply overlooked knight takes g5.
Knight takes, okay.
Yeah. I didn't, because if he doesn't have knight g5, then queen e5 is good here. But I remember the computer stockfish like d takes e here, because I thought I had for some reason I thought I thought that DE doesn't actually. I thought DE doesn't work because I thought he would just take my bishop, and then I like DE, and then knight takes G5, and then what?
Then what?
If H takes G5, like then maybe knight D5. It just I remember that.
Yeah, and then this.
Yeah. But I guess I would be up a pawn, right? So I would just be up a pawn,
I think it's a better.
Yeah.
This might be a better version for you. I don't know about this. Might be interesting though. D takes. E takes F. I'm sorry. I mean, it's still probably winning. He still has 90 seats, and if pawn takes, he can take back with the knight. And it's still only a pawn, and I'm not sure you achieve much in comparison with the other line, but queen takes. I guess h5 is falling too. Or else he has to play some weird move like like putting the knight on h7, which can't be right. Yeah, this might be stronger, I guess. Though I mean it was a chance, but still after queen takes e5, it was still better. I mean it's
Oh yeah, I mean I felt very happy here because I think I'm still up a pawn.
Yeah.
But yeah,
in comparison, you have the pawn on e5, hit the knight on f6, which is annoying. This time around you don't have it, but you're up a pawn. His king is still weaker than yours, so you have every reason to be optimistic here. Rook d5. I missed this move and it scared me. Stockfish isn't scared though.
Yeah. Well, I was probably more nervous just because I hadn't considered Rook d5, and so it startled me because I just didn't think that was a move, and so I'm like, oh, what did I miss? And he is, I think I have a right to be a bit nervous here because like that rook. It looks like a good spot for the rook. I don't know. Like at first, when you don't consider a move like rook d5, I think it's scary when you see it. And I was probably also starting to get into a bit of time trouble at this point. Even I don't have my score sheet in front of me right now, but I think around this point I was getting into time trouble already.
Yeah, and it's only move 20, yeah. There's a long way to go. Good thing, though, is you're pretty safe because his only reasonable pawn break would be c5, but his king is right there, so c5 is not going to be easy to achieve in reasonable conditions for him. So that makes your position really safe. And your extra pawn, well, quite a sound extra pawn, actually. You just went back, which is perfect.
Right, and I'm learning to be brave. Right, it's a scary looking square for me, facing the rook again. But
yeah, exactly. You notice that this is not going to be a thing. It's just suicide for the black king. So very well done. Rook e8. Here you played well. Then the conversion phase was a bit more problematic.
That was purely time trouble. 100%. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Knight takes, I think.
It went knight takes, but traded everything on. Oh no, not everything. That was rook f1. Yeah.
And then f5. Yeah.
F5. What about bishop takes?
I don't. It didn't even cross my mind. I'm really curious. I probably in my notes. In my notes, do I say how much time I have like later on?
Um, at some point, I don't know if it was in this game. At some point, you mentioned that you have, yeah,
Later on, I
by
do.
move 38.
Okay.
Yeah, you had what 12 minutes by move
Okay.
38.
So I still had
It's
time at this point. Um, actually, you know what? I probably did consider Bishop H5, but I think Rook H8 and just scared me. I thought like like I'm giving black options now, and I just didn't want to. Again, I just thought it was unnecessary to give. Like maybe Bishop H5 is it's just a free pawn, but
I think you were reasonably scared. I mean, if we go through the whole line, Rook H8,
yeah,
Queen G5 maybe, because I can't see another way. I mean, if I go back, Rook takes H4, I'll definitely not play this. I mean, there's this. So Bishop takes, Rook H8, Queen G5, then Black hasn't moved that. It's pretty annoying.
F5,
F4,
F4,
yeah,
F4, yeah.
F4. More than annoying, it's almost winning, I guess, because even if you give the check, there's King B8, and the Queen is as
Yeah,
far as
but
I can see.
even if I could hold on there, I just thought it was unnecessary. Like because I enjoy my position. I'm already up a pawn, and like my pawns are quite well. Black's pawns are just scattered and ugly, and he has an unsafe king. So I'm happy to just trade and go into an endgame because my pawn on A6.
Yeah.
I mean, so
You're not getting out of this clearly. I mean, you take here if it was just too clear that it's just a free pawn and that's it, but it's not. It's a mess, and it's probably bad even because of this. So yeah, you made the right decision to take. F takes. Oh yeah, and this was a very strange chance. You have
yeah, I remember the
F3,
computer. Yeah, it's weird.
just loses the pawn.
I didn't even consider it because it doesn't seem like it works. It just seems weird.
The,
But
the key is the scary rook. It's just very badly placed. The rook on d5 is terrible. It's not defending the other rook. It can't really defend d4 by moving to d5. So f3, it just wins a pawn incredibly. Yeah, queen g3, pawn takes. You hit the rook again. The rook is a problem. Yeah, that would be a second pawn and probably the game right there and then. Still, you have a significant advantage after this. d7. Now you put pressure on e4. And queen e2. Now you say, yeah, 18 minutes at this point. He was playing really fast, 1 hour and 13 minutes.
yeah, he's spending in 1 to 2 minutes per move.
And still he got, yeah, well, that's probably why he he got such a bad position out of the opening too. She sits, well, defending h5, f3. Well, at some point you have to play the move, so I guess this is all right. Queen f4. Yeah, this is another very strange chance, but you can win a second pawn here. But very simple means it's really very much like the chance you had before.
I just go FE, no?
FE.
Oh,
I think he still can collect the h4 pawn as it happened.
right.
Again.
So if I lead with the rook, it's just no. That doesn't make sense. So let's see. What? I don't remember this.
Now the pin on the e file is acting up again because he played queen to f4. Any pawn was always in trouble. It's a quiet move.
I almost wonder if I could play queen d2 because there might be a mate strat on e8.
Okay.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, okay. It doesn't quite work.
Turns out you shouldn't lose this pawn, so afterwards you can collect the a4 pawn. And there's only one move that achieves that.
I don't know what I'm missing.
It's just that it's a very silent move. It's not the kind of move you'll think about normally. When you're almost winning the pawn, but this time around he makes a counter threat.
Let's see, queen f2 shouldn't work. No.
Queen f2, and then
he just takes. Yeah.
What are you threatening after that?
G3.
But you're threatening this pawn again. Imagine the queen was on f2 for a second. How does white win the pawn?
I guess I could. Seems like it shouldn't matter which way I take, right? If I go rook takes or f takes e, shouldn't matter.
Kind of does. If rook takes, how do you continue that?
So if you're saying if the queen is on f2, and then I go rook takes e4, and rook takes e4, then
yeah.
Well, again, I could go either way. Then rook takes e4 again.
And rook takes.
And oh, okay. So that's it. Okay. Okay. So
to be fair,
yeah,
you'll be winning, I guess. To be fair, with the queen on f2, after rook takes, I guess f takes should be enough. You're hitting the queen. If rook takes c4, I guess the exchange of queens is good for you. This rook ends up on f4. You might just defend the pawn and then invade the 7th rank with the rook. You have the e5, which is, I guess, really important, but it's still a rook endgame as it happened in the game. Actually, after queen f2, there's no way to defend this pawn. Your threat is f takes e right away. And there's no time to take on e4 because of queen takes f4, and the other rook is hanging behind. So, yeah, if black makes an X move, let's say he plays rook e6, f takes, yeah, he's just losing another pawn because this one is defended. He never has the time for this because of queen takes f4, and if queen takes, he's 2 pawns up, so that's very comfortable. And it's crazy, but black can do nothing about this. The pin is just lethal. Yeah, there's nowhere to go apparently.
It's a weird move.
Yeah, it's too silent.
It looked weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's not usually a move that works.
Yeah, you just defend the pawn and e4 falls apart. If he wants to keep the pawn with something like queen f5, he is going into a losing king and pawn endgame. If rook takes, queen takes, then you take the rook and you come to take the pawn. So yeah, he's a pawn down in a kings and pawns endgame. That's terrible. You took on e4, and you're still winning, of course. But this time around, he gets the pawn h4 at least for his efforts. And it's a little bit more tricky, I guess. No, it shouldn't be that terrible. E5 is okay, G5.
And here is what you're going to, yeah, here's the move that I think you wanted to talk about probably for the whole game.
No, I mean, it's not so terrible. The problem is that the conversion is going to be hard, or at least harder than it would be. Because you can get a much better version. The rook is uncomfortable in the sense that you might, well, you probably need to switch it back to the F file where it needs to be for you to invade in the end. It should still be totally winning. Your center pawns are impressive. But well, you might have experienced firsthand here that rook endgames are hard, even with such a large advantage. Rook f1 was better, indeed. I mean,
I got scared, man. I got like g4. I'm scared. G4, g3. I got scared.
Yeah, but yeah, this is where you need to put calculation forward, because you can and you should be able to calculate this. I'm totally sure you can figure this out. G4 is just terrible because it leaves the queen out of the game. I mean, even though you're threatening G3 right now, he's threatening G3 right now. It's your turn, and his king is feeling lonely too. How do you make use of that?
I offer a draw. No, no. Maybe queen f2. Let's see, queen f2, g3. I guess maybe I could go. Oh, that's scary though. That is scary, man. Queen f2, g3. I mean, I could go queen f5, and then maybe queen h3.
Yeah, but why run intentionally into this? You can even prevent G3 if you put your mind to it. By activating.
So maybe queen d3, because then I'm threatening queen f5. Wait, that doesn't prevent it. Hang on.
Yeah, but G3 is...
Yeah, it doesn't prevent it. Okay, well, there's rook f4.
Yeah, but even better, how about preventing it while making some threats of your own?
Queen d4. Queen e4, I mean.
Queen e4 is a very good option. Queen c4 might work, I don't know, I'm not totally sure. But I'm going with queen e4 on principle. I'll pay attention to this immediately, because g3 isn't possible on this move, and this is quite hard to face. It's looking green for him now. Yeah, this isn't going to end well. Queen e4 here. His king is way more open than yours, which is funny because yours is open at this point. But if g3 is anything, he has no attack going whatsoever. What now? How does he defend against queen takes c6?
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe king c7, and then he can play rook d7 to block.
King c7's move, yeah. Yeah, then I think all your pieces are coming to the attack. For example, you can play rook f6, hitting c6 again. Yeah, your attack seems to be... Oh no, this is...
No, yeah.
I'm liking your prospects after d5. I don't know if it works right away.
G6? I'm scared. Oh wait, no, he can't. Yeah, so so I guess
still...
right. Yeah, so his queen is really can't do anything there.
This looks promising. In fact, you can even make a neutral move, and he still can't play this. He'll have to take the queen out just to play g3, but that's of no use to him. And d5 seems to be crashing through quite quickly. If pawn takes, queen takes, you actually threaten.
So his queen is really just these are both they're both paralyzed.
Yeah.
Well, essentially all three of them.
Yeah.
So he only has a rook, really.
And
unless he retreats the queen.
Yeah, that basically leaves your pieces against his king.
What if he, instead of this, what if, or I guess he can't, okay, he can't defend that, eh? Okay.
I'm guessing d5 because it's poses in
I guess maybe he goes queen e7.
Oh,
whoops, sorry. Yeah. Well, can he take? No, it'll be check. Right.
Yeah, everything comes with check. Exactly.
Okay.
But if he has to consider some retreat here, he's just busted. I mean, all your pieces are.
Well, check and then queen coming in here. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Those pawns you don't even need to worry anymore.
I mean, I knew, like, I was quite certain that offering the queen trade was incorrect, but I mean, the time pressure had an incredible influence on that decision. I mean, that was the sole reason that I did that. I knew that even though this rook and pawn endgame has to favor white, I mean, because we're up a pawn and we have a pawn on a6. Even though I knew that the rook and pawn endgame could still potentially be quite tricky, I was really scared of, because of the time difference, that I might actually lose the game if I don't swap queens. And
you lose a huge attacker. He can kind of make you go for an endgame with queen g4 right now, which is probably his best chance. Now, if you go queen c4, I guess he can play queen e4, and it's still a bit messy. He defends everything. And
here, this got to be good for me here,
but
though,
here
right?
you can play.
Yeah.
This is a better version, way better version, because you have the f file immediately.
Yeah, I was thinking you can just rook f5 there.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. I can just goose later. Yeah.
Yeah. One big difference between this and the game is that there's no way black activates his king anymore, for example, and that's huge in rook and king endgames. The activity of the king is quite crucial. Well, you might have noticed it in both games. When you had an active king in the other one against Shulhari, you were totally crashing in that endgame. And now it's kind of the same. This king is condemned to stay on c8, and you're just sweeping the kingside pawns. And yeah, now it just curtains. After this, it's a bit more tricky, but not quite. I mean, he even played rook e7, which doesn't make sense at all.
He was trying to flag me, like the whole game. So he was, same with the game 5. They were just playing really fast, and
this is more principle, at least. Bring the king to the to the fight somehow. It's still lost, but rook e7 isn't adding anything to the fight. King f2, it's just a step in the wrong direction. It's not that it loses any objective advantage, I guess, but if you get to the f file, you can correct what you did before about the rook, the position of the rook, which isn't the most favorable. But now if you go like something like this, I guess he's in no time to play this king d7 rook here, and if king e6, there's check, and he's going to lose this pawn. So he's not even in time to occupy the center anymore. Where did things get a bit messy? Well, King C7 again. At this point, he should be trying to bring the pieces. I guess G4 to prevent this. And I know this is a problem, but he also needs to come here or do something. Rook G7, Rook F8. This is still totally winning. B5. Okay, now by now you have 12 minutes against 1 hour and 10 minutes for your opponent. King E3, King B6, Rook F6. Very good move. You always have him tied down. King F3. I was starting to panic. How can you stop both these pawns? Like right now.
Well, that's the thing. In hindsight, after the game, like I didn't even have to do anything. I think, like I don't even, because he's not going to do anything. Well, I mean, like if I gave him a free move, it's not a big deal, really. I guess he would probably play G4 if he had a free move, but like I'm still holding on. I think Rook H6 was possible. I think possibly I could even push the E pawn, but that gets a bit more complicated.
Excellent. This idea is perfect. I mean, there's no counterplay whatsoever. This idea of attacking the further advanced pawn so that the other one can't advance because it leaves it undefended, that's quite typical to stop pawns from behind with the rook.
Yeah, I remember reading that in some end game. I forget. I don't think it was Devretsky, but I remember reading that where a rook behind the enemy pawn should actually go behind the more advanced pawn, which is kind of It's counterintuitive, right? Because it's the one that's defended, so you think that you should go behind the other one, but actually, yeah.
Yeah, because this way.
Yeah, now it can't move.
The supporting pawn can't advance, the other one can't advance. So you're already stopping both pawns, not only the and you're behind. There's a very famous endgame by Arkane where he stops 3 pawns this way. It's pretty amazing. I don't remember against whom.
It was in a game. It wasn't a composition.
It wasn't a real game. Yeah, it's an endgame masterpiece. I'm going to look it up at some point because I can't remember who was the opponent. But it's a famous game, and it's often cited about this theme. Here you paralyze him. I mean, he has nothing to do. He just has to wait for you to, I don't know, play d5 and conquer c6, or bring the king even further. Yeah, it's just too difficult for him. King f3, g4, king f4. Yeah, now you have to deal with some nasty stuff. Good thing against h2, you have king g3 and nothing comes out of that.
I think I would,
because g takes, pawn advances, and you don't stop it anymore. I think
I can, right? Rook h6. Oh, can't I get to
h3?
No. Oh, right. Oh, that's stupid. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, h3 you probably have to play king g3, and that's it. And no problem. You get to stop the pawn, but now you have to be aware of these tricks so that he doesn't get some tactics to get a passed pawn that you can't really stop. Yeah, your king is in the way. Otherwise, he would play rook f1 and rook g1, but your king is on f4. So he played g3, and you got to stop the pawns in any case.
I think I knew it was my king, which was inaccurate.
Yeah, it might be, but still, the problem is around here. Rook f2. Now you took
with the king, I think,
which is a bit. Yeah, it was a move too early. What do you think you should play now?
I'm wondering about e6. E6, king c7.
I think he's going to take. I don't think he will go back.
But then I also have d5 though. Oh, maybe I just play d5 right away. Yeah, okay. I was thinking e6, and then if rook takes g2, then d5, which might still work. But I could just play d5 right away.
Yeah, he still has rook. Yeah, there's still rook e2, and yeah, it's hard because he also has his own passed pawn. But d5 did it for you, because when he takes, you're going to take with the king, and this rook is going to be tied down to this pawn. That's another interesting idea. For example, rook takes with check, king a5. You can even throw in b4 so that this isn't a thing.
Oh yeah, and then I've got rook c7 even.
Yeah, but now you capture, and this pawn is just lost for him if he ever wants to use his rook again, because you will just follow it. G2, king h2, and there's no.
I think I think I could just go rook g5 and just sack the rook.
How?
No, here, just rook g5.
Rook g6.
Yeah, sorry, rook g6 and just sack the rook. The two pawns should promote, right?
Yeah, but be careful with the tactics.
Yeah, well, then I'll just side. Well, what? Oh, can he do this? Can he do that? I think I'm okay. I'm okay, right?
You probably win anyway supporting these pawns.
Yeah.
You might win because you get to support both pawns, but it's strange to let him.
Well, you got to make it exciting. No.
Yeah. In any case, you end up 2 pawns. It's
no, this is very pleasant, of course.
For example, if he wants to, I don't know, get d5, then you defend this one as you wish. He sits, and that's probably it. The 2 pawns are going to be defended, and then you just bring your king. The thing is, you were controlling both the pawns. H4 falls, and you get your 2 passes. So that was a lot. After king takes, rook takes. It's a bit tougher because now this is a threat. So you don't have the time to play d5. This is just purely tactics. And it got a bit complicated because you were in time trouble.
I think I was down to a minute here.
Yeah.
And he had that over an hour. Crazy. Yeah, I remember what I blundered here. It's when I played rook c7 instead of rook a8. Not here, but in the game. I had the win, but very frustrating. But it's there's d5.
Yeah, and they're much quicker than his own pawn. So he sits, rook takes with check. This is still winning though. Rook takes, king takes. Oh, another tactic.
This is where I played rook c7 instead of rook a8. It was 100. I mean, obvious. I mean, most of these moves were just influenced by time pressure. Like if I had even a few more minutes on the clock, I think I would have found this. The funny thing is that rook c7 just makes no sense anyways, though. Like, because he'll just attack it, and I just lose the tempo, right? So,
you have to go defending it or lose the pawn. It's funny that he doesn't get to g7. You have the trick of the skew. Very nice way to finish the game, actually. When the king is so far away and you get this rook behind in front of the pawn, there's nowhere to go really. If the king was on d7, he'll still have this, and he'll be in time. But king d7, still rook h8. So this was very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
now it's just clearly drawn.
You know, I was thinking about this move. In hindsight, I think this is a mistake because I think this is actually the better move objectively because it gives him a chance to screw up. It gives him the chance to take, you know, if he's not paying attention. So these actually, they're not equal. These aren't equal moves, in my opinion. This is actually the correct move.
Yeah, it's as forcing, but yeah, he can take him. With the other one, there's no chance he doesn't take.
Yeah, and then I offered a draw when I queened, and he declined.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't respect me, but I didn't blame him because I only had a minute, so it's possible that I mess up or flag, but and then he just played a few more moves, so that's okay with me. You know, if
you push him back, I guess he understood.
And also my clock was getting higher and higher. You know, then I'm like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, so he just played a few more moves.
Yeah. And the increment.
Yes, yeah. So it was an unfortunate result because I was winning, you know, pretty much the whole So I wasn't really challenged like throughout the game. And then it was a draw, and I missed that one conversion. That easy win with rook h1. No, sorry, rook a. You changed the board, so but you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But at the same time, no, it's okay. But at the same time, I don't mind the draw that much because of the huge discrepancy in time management. I mean, he had at the end of the game, I had 1 minute. He had over an hour. So the draw is okay with me. I should have played a bit quicker in some positions. And I also missed some, you know, I had some few inaccuracies throughout the game, as you had pointed out. So yeah, the draw is a bit disappointing, but I think it's a fair result for the way I played.
Yeah, it's, well, I mean, you probably were closer to a win than a draw, and it was a bit unfortunate that you blundered in the end. But yeah, there are some things that factor in here. Some long things that shouldn't be there, definitely. For example, Bishop G5 is a move that this is a position that doesn't warrant
spending time on.
12-minute.
12-minute thing,
yeah. No, not 12 minutes. It's just a lot. It's 12 minutes you will need to calculate down the road.
Right.
I mean, at some point, there's going to be a position that is really pressing, and you need to get it right. And this is not one.
It's the perfectionist in me. Right? Because I'm just like, I gotta play it. I gotta play the opening perfect as long as I can to make it. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, that's a trend to revert that, because as you see, the opening doesn't decide the outcome of the game. I mean,
well, game one it did. Right. The knight a4, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
I mean, even at really high levels, I mean, if you see a game between, I don't know, an international master and normal GM, as you go up the ladder, the opening is more and more important, but it's not that decisive. Things happen down the road in any case. So unless it's an elite match, the opening is not going to decide the game, most likely. And here you see that a lot happens in the game after the opening phase. So even if you get a huge advantage out of it, as it actually happened in the game.
Well, you can't tell me that I have that problem that of playing too quickly in over the board game. Because, you know, a lot of players, they play too quickly, but yeah, somehow I'm on the opposite spectrum. I think as you get older, it's a lot easier to play slower. His time management was questionable. That's the other thing. That's partly it was because I was playing too slowly, and he was playing way too quickly. So that's the same with the next game.
Yeah, I mean, it was complete auto-destruction in record time. So yeah, that's not the idea, definitely. Oh, this was the 7-year-old girl.
No, she's not 7. She hadn't played in 7 years.
Oh, hadn't played chess in
Yeah,
7
this
years.
was
Okay.
her. Not even online. Not even online. This was her. This was her first time playing chess in 7 years. She's from India, and her husband
I got it
saw.
all wrong. Yeah, I said, oh, she plays really well for that age.
I know. That didn't make
That's
me
why.
feel better. That didn't make me feel better. And actually, she was because she played as a kid, and she was actually 16. She was 1600 as a kid, FIDE. So that's pretty strong for a kid.
Yeah. And oh, the C3 Sicilian. Yeah.
I don't
You play
really
a
like
theoretical variation.
Mm-hmm.
Knight C6, Knight F3, D6. Well, all of this is
Yeah.
rather theoretical, I guess.
Yep.
And B3.
That was weird. Yeah.
Yeah, makes some sense. I mean, she's trying to remove the pawn so that she can play d4. I mean, if you don't really know the actual theory in the position, it's a move that might make sense. And there are also bishop a3 ideas if you want to play e5. And you played bishop g4, which
Oh
should
God,
be fine.
this game is so bad. Like I played I played so bad this game, and so did she, which was unbelievable. Like I was a cat with 9 lives this game. It was. Did you looked at the game obviously, right? This was crazy.
Yeah, everything happened. That endgame is awesome.
Oh man. And 40
This is the move
40 moves. I had 1 minute on the clock. 40. Half the game I had 1 minute. This was an insane game.
How much time did you take? 9 minutes to take on f3. This is more I really didn't.
I know. I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. Well, okay.
Don't ask me.
Oh yeah, I have one. The only thing is, I think it might have been somehow a little bit out of frustration, because my plan originally here was to give the check and then to take and then bishop g4. But then for some reason, the reason I played this is because I just incorrectly thought if I give the check first, I'm blocking the bishop. But obviously the queen's not going to stay there. I'm going to move it. So the last second, I went here first. I changed the move order. And then here, I thought for a long time, because I got frustrated that I missed my opportunity. Like I'm like, what did I do? I should have just given the queen check first. And I got so frustrated, instead of just like continuing to play normally, I took. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I understand. But that's what happened though.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't have that many reasons to feel that frustrated about this, because your position is just fine. Other than that,
it's because I missed my opportunity, because I was planning to play queen e6, and then I screwed up, and then I got frustrated for that. And
yeah,
I always like to play the opening perfectly, and so.
There are other plans, like, I don't know if taking right now is a move, but something like this, bishop g7, castle, this seems quite dramatic in this opening. And when he plays d4, when white plays d4 at some point, you just try to play e5 and break up his central pawns. That's how, well, it's a structure that I've seen appear in this variation, but this is still okay. Bishop takes f3 here. You're just giving up the bishop pair, and now it's going to get dangerous for you. She sits, knight a3. She played well here. Takes, bishop g7. Both of you castle, everything quite.
Well. I was
now.
I felt better.
Yeah.
What I mean is I felt better than in that previous position. I recollected myself here, and I was happy with this position. Yeah,
you just brought the pieces out. You're okay. Now she plays a normal move, but it's just bad. Knight has nowhere to go after that.
I knew she was going to play it too, so I had prepared for that.
Yeah, I mean, she probably didn't have anything in mind with these double pounds after knight c4. I mean, I bet she didn't play this because of the double pounds, but those double pounds are awesome. In fact, I'm not even sure you should take on c4. I don't know if taking is the best idea. If something like that happens, I don't know, the b file with the possibility of d4, c5, this looks awesome for the bishops if the pawns actually get rolling. And rook b1 is coming. I don't know.
Rook c8?
Rook a or rook
rook a c8.
Rook a c8. I'm guessing d4 should be the move.
Almost want to take. I was thinking about it, but e5.
e5, bishop a3. That's bishop a3.
Queen f6? No. Maybe Queen f6
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, after the trade, I guess the bishops look quite mighty here. Bishop e4, hitting here. c5 even. Yeah, this is starting to look nice for white. On knight c4, I'm not entirely sure you should actually take.
Yeah.
Maybe queen c7, and if knight takes, queen takes, and you keep everything together.
Knight c4 is interesting. I don't think that's a 1500 level move though, because I think that's a very advanced move. Yeah. Like I don't think, like for me, like that's. I mean, it's one thing for black to consider taking, but for white to consider knight c4 would be quite unusual for my level, I think.
Yeah. The main point is that the double pawns also leave open files, and the b file is quite impressive. And then the pawns can roll together in this case, or at least it seems that d4 and c5 is going to be a thing.
Yeah, I can understand it. I just think. Considering it for my level, that is not a move that we would really consider. That's
definitely.
It doesn't even cross our radar.
Yeah, here she has the knight on a3 is just badly placed otherwise.
Yeah.
So yeah, she probably had to go that way. Fortunately, it's a very hard move for her to make.
Yeah.
The other option looks fine, but yeah, actually the knight is not so well placed on b5, so this is great for you. b4
and bye-bye. Yeah, kick it out. Yeah.
From where he came. e5.
Yeah.
Okay, now you challenge the center. His pawns are weak, even though there's a pair of bishops there. e5 is blowing the center up. So you should be fine by now, I guess.
Yeah, I was happy.
Yeah, now this was very strange. She hung the pawn there.
Yeah, but don't worry, because I will blunder right back.
Yeah, you went back.
Yeah. I simply didn't. I just forgot that I could hang on to the pawn. Twice? Well, no, I mean, I obviously was scared of bishop e4, but I seriously just forgot that I get to keep the pawn for nothing. So I thought takes, and then, oh no, I've got split pawns. But
pawns.
I seriously just forgot that I won a pawn in that calculation. There's nothing more to it than that. That's what happened. I just forgot that I get to keep the pawn. So
Accounting problem.
yeah,
In those games. Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh,
This game was
Unfortunately, it's not so easy for her to see how to defend the pawn. I mean, she had to go rook d1.
I know. Well,
And it's not that.
I end up getting
that
it, which is funny. There's so many mistakes this
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, she goes bishop b3. It was kind of hard. I mean,
I don't
before
think
is
so.
never a thing because of before.
I would have
Maybe
played rook d1
5.
in a heartbeat if I was her.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah. She probably saw that c4 was never a thing because of e4 and she missed this, something like that.
Well, she was also
And yeah, now she does.
she was also playing 1 or 2 minutes per move. So she was blitzing
Yeah.
out all of her moves the entire game. It was really
Yeah,
strange.
that way she wouldn't find
Yeah.
the right way to keep the pawn.
Yeah.
Now nothing has happened. You actually won the pawn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything's
Yeah.
fine here. C4.
Yeah.
C4. Natural move, but yeah. Knight C3 was strong. Oh yeah, this move was. You mentioned that. Knight C3
I think.
was
Well, the
strong,
computer mentioned it, but I thought that was complicated. I mean,
yeah, the problem is that the knight looks really
yeah.
sketchy on C3. Like it could be trapped, but
Yeah.
E4 is coming. That's E4, F5, F4 is very hard to stop, incredibly. Rook D1, E4, Queen G3, and now, I don't know, Rook A D8, so Bishop D2 is not even a thing. Yeah, this stuff is happening.
Yeah, but you know, Knight C3, like if I had even, I would have to spend like 20 minutes on that move because I would want assurance that my knight can come home or it's not going to get trapped there. And that's not an easy move for me to play, I think.
She made a weakening move, but at least her pawns are kind of keeping yours from advancing and just steamrolling her. B6, Bishop B4, everything's fine here. I mean, her knight is still off the game. Well, now she kind of succeeds in getting it into play. I really like the fact that you played F5 here and you didn't go for A5 immediately. I really like this. Because taking is just crazy after this and this. Guess she's losing the piece. So knight C2. Oh yeah, I mentioned here that bishop takes A6 is probably a move she absolutely needs to make. And after this, knight B5, and if rook takes knight C7, and try to complicate matters like that. Because knight C2 is just too poor move to work. E4 is not bad, but now the knight comes to D4, it's a bit more complicated. What's another move you can think of to just save this pawn and not allowing for any extra activity by white?
Well, possibly A5 now.
Yeah, A5. She still has a road back to B5.
Oh yeah,
You're still better. Other way, you're better. I think you have something a bit stronger than that.
I don't think I like B5 because I'm nervous about C4. I'm a bit nervous about C4, C3. Oh, sorry, C5, C6.
Does it work though? b5, c5, queen takes b3. That's another pawn. The knight is.
Yeah, I think I was just too. I wasn't considering b5, but I think that would require a large time sink from me.
Because if c5, no, it looks like it's dropping this pawn and the knight is under attack. It's starting to look like it's going to be a lot of material for white to give up. I don't know, rook c1, for example, looks extremely sad, though I can't really think of a different move.
Yeah.
Oh, it might just lose to e4 and bishop b2. Yeah, the pawn, even if the pawn advances, your knight still controls this gate. I mean, it seems like you're crashing through. I mean, you want a second pawn, you're hit. This knight is what's condemning her to passivity, basically.
Queen
And if
e2, I
she
guess.
can, yeah, queen e2. And I don't know if she's not just losing the pawn somehow. Queen c3 and then takes. It looks like it's another pawn going down. Yeah, the knight is just so terrible. Yeah, if she doesn't really have b5 after c5 after b5, then well, you got to defend a6 without giving this knight any extra squares, like knight d4, for example. I mean, you're kind of saving for the right moment, I guess. And if you destroy the queen side, then well, white has no more counterplay. After some exchanges, for example, you will have this kind of stuff to defend everything there. So yeah, b5 seems to be quite clean. I think that's the most attractive thing about it. You play e4, which is interesting though. It's not a bad move, and then you fix the pawns on dark squares, which is fine. And yeah, then she has some threats. It's a bit annoying. I mean, there's stuff there. Queen e5. You say here that you decided to be brave. White's knight is strong and very annoying. That's true. That wasn't the case with the pawn still on e5. But I felt my bishop was good. I want to take the easy way out by taking on d4. Turns out that taking on d4 was the best move indeed. But I do like that I'm trying to challenge myself more. Yeah, you can take, but also I think you have a pretty nice advantage here. Oh yeah, here I found this. This is the only problem. Did you notice this move during the game?
No. I don't even think in post analysis.
That's easy, right? Because of this and this.
So
It's your problem.
what? So BC.
Queen c4 check.
King h8. And then the fork. Wait, can't I trade? The rook takes d1. Oh wait.
Exactly, rook takes.
And then like
This was a very well line.
rook g8, rook b8. I mean,
Rook b8, knight g5.
what? Knight g5. Oh, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. At what point? I mean, b takes, queen
Yeah,
c4, king
yeah,
h8,
yeah,
sits, rook takes,
yeah,
or
yeah,
rook takes,
yeah. And then rook b8.
rook b8, knight g5,
Knight g5.
with threat.
Mm-hmm. But maybe we just move our queen somewhere. Because does he have a good windmill, or like if we just move the queen somewhere random and then check, and then I go king g8. Because I don't know if he has a good discovery.
To c7, then apparently we have the...
Yeah, I go back, king h8.
h6, king here.
It's not smothered. It's not smothered, is it? Is it smothered?
You have the knight on e7 and the queen is defending here.
Or is this no? But is this knight is this knight still here? This knight is still here.
Takes. Yeah, knight is. Rook takes d1. Rook takes d1. Rook b8. Okay, rook b8. Knight g5. Queen c7.
Yeah.
Knight f7 check. King
g8.
to g8.
That's what I mean. I don't know if White had a good windmill.
Rook d7. Rook d7, or maybe even better, knight e5 check. You go back and rook d7. Oh no, I'm sorry, then I lose the knight. No, rook d7 right away has to be the move.
Win.
Because if you take, then...
Yeah, but rook d7 after what? After
I mean, after, when you play king... I mean, knight f7 check, king g8, then rook d7.
Sorry. So wait. So check my king here. Where does the? Oh, and then rook.
The check on f7.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
King g7.
Yeah, and then rook. Then rook.
With your queen on c7 after queen c7. That one looks strong. Yeah.
Okay, let's put it on the board because that.
Yeah, it's a very tricky variation.
It's a bit deep.
Takes.
Yeah.
A. Rook b8.
Yeah.
And now knight g5. This is annoying. And if queen c7, I'm guessing check. King g8, and now rook d7. This looks...
What about... Hang on. What about we take on b7? Is that...
Yeah, that's probably lost. I mean, the attack is huge.
Is it though?
I mean, even if you have a rook and a bishop.
Won't we have a rook bishop and yeah, I guess is it? Oh, we got a lot of pawns though. Won't we have a rook, a knight, and a bishop against a queen and a knight?
Yeah, I don't think the pawns will kick in time to save black.
Is it?
Knight g5 in there, queen.
Maybe just here. Is that just mate? Oh no. Yeah, right.
Still have king.
Right.
But this looks terrible for black. I mean, queen e8 is already.
That's a deep line though.
Yeah, looks scary though. Once he gets to play knight g5, though. I mean, I thought you were losing here when I saw c5, and I calculated this line. You have king h8 actually, but yeah, you have to allow this. I don't know. It looks scary, but it turns out you can even take, and you're not losing. But you had to see this, which I didn't. I thought you were completely losing. And I mean, full disclosure. You have rook b8 right now. This is very hard to see. The mistake was to trade, apparently. This time around, this is not such a big threat because the rook, of course, is defending f7, and that's it. That's very important. But you're actually giving up, and it's changed. And it turns out that's all right for black here. Though it's very computerish. I didn't even consider this. But you can just go knight g8, bishop g7, some point knight h6, knight here, and you're totally fine.
Can I just do
for the computer?
Queen g7 there?
Queen g7 right now?
Yeah.
Might be a move. I don't know if your pieces will look a bit funny after the trade on rook d7.
Sorry, after what trade? Oh, the queen trade?
Queen g7. Yeah, this is
king takes. I'm okay with that, I think.
Takes rook d7.
King f6.
King f6, rook c1. No, if I have to think about a reason why knight
bishop
a6,
a6, bishop a6, bishop h6. I mean,
bishop h6.
Yeah.
King f2.
Maybe a5.
What?
A4, so I can go rook b3.
And the bishop still.
Oh. What? Okay. Well, right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
In any case, this is just a crazy computer line.
Yeah. I mean, that's yeah. We're not seeing that deep.
Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I would never find knight g8 with the idea of bishop here and knight now. You have 2 pounds for the exchange, and it turns out the computer thinks your king is not that bad, so you're fine.
No, and my opponent isn't going to see all of this with 1 minute, spending 1 minute per move.
Yeah. I honestly thought queen e5 was a mistake and that white was winning after this, but it turns out you can sack the exchange on f8. It was just a curious fact of the game. G3 turns out this is weak. I mean, it's just weakening the king, not doing much. Oh yeah, now you do default.
I forgot about the rook on d1. That's all. Yeah, I just simply forgot about the rook on d1. And she believed it too. She believed me because I confidently played queen c7, and then she believed me. She's like, I can't fork because I will lose the 2 minors for the rook. So we both had the mutual blunder.
Yeah, she saw the bishop being attacked. She went back. Oh man.
No, well, I think like we both thought this, and then takes and takes and takes. I think this is what we both thought.
Oh.
Yeah, and so and that's what I missed because I went here purposely that if the fork that I was going to take this is how I screwed up, and then I thought if she takes the rook, I take back. I've got the 2 minors for the rook, but I forgot about the rook on d1, and I think she probably had the same issue.
Yeah, somehow she might have thought the knight gets trapped or something too. I don't know. Whoa.
Yeah, so when she played bishop a6, I was like, wow, I couldn't believe she gave me a chance. I was. Yeah, I was.
You wouldn't allow it again.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, I'm taking that knight now. I don't care if this is not a good move. No more knight. Yeah, never again.
Good thing it's a great positional decision because this bishop is out of the game and your knight is going to be awesome after this. So
I didn't even care. I took that knight immediately. I'm just like, yeah, I don't even care if this is a bad move. But that knight is going now.
Come here. I don't want nothing to do with the knight. Yeah, now this is awesome. You're invading through, well, everywhere. This bishop has nowhere to go. This is great. The only problem, you were down to 11 minutes on move. On the previous move already.
Can you believe she had an hour 20? Like, that's crazy. Like, move 32? That's so fast. She's playing so fast. That's crazy.
She was even fortunate not to hang something major because she played too fast.
So fast.
It's easy to commit a terrible mistake. And she didn't. I mean, she didn't play particularly well, but it's not like she left a piece undefended or something. That could easily happen if you play way too quickly. Now, what I wanted to know is why didn't you just go for 93 quickly?
I'm trying to remember what I played. Did I make the rook move? Yeah, well, part of it was honest. Increment. I was because I had no time, and my position looked very safe. That I didn't think white could really do a whole lot in this position. That this was really all black's game to win. So like black has more opportunities to push here. Because of our pawns mostly. So yeah, I was just making, dance around a little bit, get some time back on the clock. Because again, I didn't really think she could push forward anyway. So I was just trying to stop these pawns basically. So blockade, move the rooks around, and then formulate a plan.
Yeah, the thing is they are stopped already and they're going nowhere. And unfortunately, she got to create some.
Oh, she did so many cheapos. She did this cheapo idea 4 times in the game. This is the first out of 4 cheapos. I can't believe she kept going for it. She kept doing
this
it.
One I didn't like. This one I didn't like because the rook was defending f5. It was.
My plan was to trade off like queens. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that, but it was something that I was considering.
Would be safe. Queen g5. And now, to make a safe move, you have to go back. Or maybe even queen g7, bringing the queen so that this isn't a thing and everything
I make a much better move, though, here. I make brilliancy.
So much for safety. h6 here.
That's probably one of probably one of the worst moves I've ever made over the board. Like literally, like it's so bad it's funny.
He was protecting h6.
Because I was obviously I wanted king g7, but then there's rook f5, and then. For some reason in my mind, I'm like, so I'll just play h6 first, because this pawn is defended. So I'll just play h6, and I just messed up. I mean, I was in a bit of time pressure, but it was totally, it's just a straight up blunder.
Your mind left the king on g7 from the previous variation.
And I remember her face because I can't see her mouth because of the mask. But her eyes were kind of like wide, and I thought there was a decent chance she won't take. I thought 50% she won't take because earlier when she played bishop a6 instead of the fork, and I thought she might be scared. She might be scared to take, and she was a little bit because she thought for a few minutes on it, but then she did take.
Funny thing is, your position is so good that even here you're
and it's still equal material because I was up a pawn before.
And she went king g2. This is losing by force. You played king d3.
Yeah, I had knight
And you
c2.
missed
Yeah,
it. Yeah, this is
yeah.
really strong. Not only because of the fork, she still has this. But here queen e3, and that's it. That's it for her. You have to go to a very weird place with the queen.
What am I threatening here, though?
Well, if queen h3, I guess you can just play king g7 and rook h8, and that's going to be... That's going to be hard to face, I guess. I don't know if there's something even better. I consider queen g5. Just so that the queen never goes back because of this multiple threat.
Rook f2.
Rook f2. Knight e3 and knight here, maybe.
That's a nice square.
Yeah, this is really dominating on the king side, and you get yourself out of trouble on the king side, which is, I mean, if you achieve that, maybe you even make something out of the open H file. Yeah, this is 93. The problem is that she has a tactic of her own, which you both missed at this point. G6 is really weak. It's barely defended by the rook on D6. So what can she do now to exploit that?
I don't see it.
The rook is overworked. It's defending G6, and there's actually a piece that's not dead. It was just sleeping, which is the bishop on B5. We can't get round to the attack.
That's dirty. Yeah. Oh, I think I might have looked at that with the computer on my phone right after the game, and yeah, that's a computer move.
That would have been a shock.
Yeah.
I would have. This is a problem.
I would have called the arbiter. My opponent's cheating. You know.
Yeah, the bishop was left sleeping there for so long that you never think this is a thing, but it actually is.
That's a really hard move to find, though. I mean,
because it's so unexpected.
Yeah.
I mean, the bishop is just lying there.
Yeah.
Unless you were preparing the tactic, I mean, once you saw that it's game and all, and you thought, oh, maybe I have this, then it's easy to miss. Very easy to miss. And she...
Again, that's number two. Number two cheapo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was bent on trying to get.
I can't believe that. I mean, yeah, like I'm not 800. Like, you know, that's it. I can't believe she, because she did it 4 times. 4 times. Oh man, she had no respect for me. Like,
Rook F8 here defends everything. This is a bit awkward. I mean, she has to play G4 and see what happens, I guess. This is way too slow. Now he played well. Well, actually, maybe King G7.
Yeah, I think the computer had preferred King G7.
Yeah.
It's hard though, yeah, because for literally the rest of the game, I have 1 minute, between 1 and 2 minutes for the rest of the game. So
now this is the last tactic she had to find to make a repetition of this, because she always has this. Then she takes, queen takes, she picks up this rook. You can force a repetition, because now if she takes, then it's your turn. Your turn to attack, but she can repeat moves like this.
No, but I'm just winning there, right? Because I should have mate.
If you go back, there's rook f1.
No, not here. I mean, if she takes the rook, I should have mate.
Yeah, if she takes the rook, you go check, and then yeah, she needs to repeat. She has a repetition. Last chance for her. She took, and this endgame is terrible for her. I mean, it's equal material, but look at those pieces. I mean, the difference is just striking. Oh, sorry. The difference is just too big, and you have the dark squares to infiltrate your king, which you started doing here, and then you stopped. I thought you'd just play king e5.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know. Yeah.
Again, you stopped to make some mysterious rook moves.
Yeah, it was the increment. Yeah, increment.
Yeah, trying to
just get some time.
To build a bank of time. Yeah. It's funny that her best chance apparently is to take here.
I was always keeping. Yeah, I was always wondering if that was possible.
At least it's still kind of a fight, because all the pawns are defended after she takes here and then goes after this pawn, and you kind of have to be aware of that this pawn can advance and supported by the bishop if you ever leave this hit, but it still should be a win for black with some care. Though it's her only chance, otherwise you just, well, you're just invading as you did in the game. That's the main issue. Rook d1, you went back to b4, maybe to c5 was stronger.
Yeah, it was a coin flip. Yeah.
It's not really relevant. I mean,
the reason because I was considering rook c5 or knight c5, but I just had some, again, keeping in mind that I only had a minute on my clock, I thought possibly b4 could maybe let her rook infiltrate. I don't know. I didn't want to give any possibilities for complexity because I had no time on the clock. So I thought I'll just blockade it.
This is a second passer. That's a second passer. That's that would be great. You probably play before b3. Then I mean, even the checks from behind the rook just push your king forwards, and that's a clean kill, I guess. Doesn't make that big of a difference, because after knight here she can still defend the pawn, so I don't think it's that important. I mean, you're still winning, and you got this in. You were trying for this, and then she fell. And now that you have the 2 passed pawns, it's just
I missed king d4 out of
king d4 winning. Winning.
I was just trying not to flag.
Still completely winning. I mean, now if you take with the knight, then I mean, this pawn is going nowhere. You stop it and you just...
Yeah, I didn't see her threat. I totally missed her threat here when she played c4. And then after she took on d3, I was shocked. And I thought, oh my God. And
that's hard. That's hard.
Yeah. And then my instinct was to go to d4, which is still good for black, but then she gets a pawn. So I didn't want to give her a free pawn. So yeah, rook c1. And
yeah, good thing you still have this.
yeah.
And the pawns are just way too strong even here. But it's getting a bit tricky. Unfortunately, you were really long time because there are some tricks. I played really well actually. King d4 is winning. f2 is also. I like the fact that this is really forcing because rook takes h7 is coming no matter what she does on her next move. So this is pretty much forced. Yeah, you end up gobbling this pawn and you're just. It's still hard to win. I mean, it's not completely. I mean, it's still something. It's still an endgame where you can miss something, but all the way up to here, you did well. The only problem is, you missed this move.
When she played that, I was completely shocked. Like my jaw almost dropped because I couldn't believe that she could play that. I mean, again, I'm basically playing like a bullet game at this point, but that still shocked me. I couldn't believe that she could just run that pawn. I'm like, oh my God. And my heart sank as soon as she threw that move out.
Fortunately, your pawns are also that good. And she went d7, which is a bold move, but yeah, I guess this is the other way. But d7 is, but she's clearly playing to set traps. But you're winning here with king e5, just infiltrate. She doesn't have the time for this, fortunately, because you just take on h8 and just promote yourself. So yeah, king e4 was.
Yeah, I think that was the only move. I think I played rook d8 though. I blundered with rook d8 here.
Yeah, this one loses incredibly, but yeah, it does lose.
But you know,
this part of the game is very emotional.
Yeah, well, she could have just queened here. Wait, was it here? Yeah, she could have just queened here. But
because the other queen is coming with check.
Yeah, and you know, and there were a couple of people. There were a couple of guys a few meters away, maybe 4 or 5 meters away, and they were kind of like whispering to each other. At this point, because the game was very interesting, right? This was an interesting end game, and they were watching, and she thought for a while here. She didn't play this move quickly, and then she didn't queen, and you know the funny thing is that I thought there was a decent chance that she wouldn't queen because of the strange moves she did earlier in the game, like when she played bishop a6 earlier on, and she just played some strange moves, right, where she had a completely winning game, and then she just completely missed it. And I thought that's why I didn't resign here, because I mean, like against against other players I might resign here, but I thought there was a decent chance she won't actually queen. I thought like maybe 75% chance she'll queen. And then, sure enough, she didn't, which is bizarre. And she had over an hour, which makes no sense. I mean, why not spend some time here to win the game, right? Like she had an hour, but I guess she was trying to flag me, I guess, but she had.
Yeah, that's the problem when you try to play only because of the time your opponent has left.
Yeah.
This happens a lot. You start making some very questionable decisions.
Yeah.
Rook f1, and you play king d5.
Well, yeah, and you know when she played rook f1 too, I kind of like looked at her face, and she seemed perfectly like content with rook f1. Like she had no idea that she could have just queened, and she seemed like she was pretty happy with rook f1. It was so weird.
You almost want to tell her, you missed this.
Yeah.
You almost want to tell her. Yeah, now she's still backing it. I mean, ouch. You to keep that pawn alive. with rook f8.
Yeah,
now.
that was
But if she missed the other move, it's hard for her to see this, I guess. Now you can't take the pawn, period. I mean, king takes, rook takes with check. She keeps both passed pawns. That's tough.
Well, she easily could have found that if she actually used her time, though, right? Because if she spent more than a minute per move, she had an hour. She had no excuse to have not won this game. Yeah.
At this point, it's not so surprising that she played anything else.
Yeah, she's trying to flag me for sure.
Yeah, you took. Now there's no taking this pawn. Rook f7, king e6. Still hard endgame to play. King takes d3, king f6, rook b7, and yeah, you had to go for this. King g6. Ouch. The problem is you can't actually go after the pawn because his king is so close. But here she just lets you off the king c4, you're still in trouble. You're still in so much trouble. Yeah, I guess this is the last mistake. Now you fold. King e4, king g6. Yeah, it was a very emotional last part of the game, I guess, with too little time on the clock, and your opponent just showed inexperience because, I mean, with a worse position for you and all the time in the world for her, and you won't have trouble, she should put difficulties, not play quick and blunder things away. Here you play well, there's nothing to be seen. She's tied down to this pawn, you're cutting the king, so oof, that was a close one.
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of that, like, similar to the previous game, I was okay with the draw. I mean, I know that I was better in a lot of portions of the game, but I also know that I blundered like a million times. So I was really a cat with 9 lives this game. And and yeah, the last 40 moves of the game, I had 1 minute on the clock. So a draw was okay with me. And yeah, so I finished 2 out of 5 in the premier section, which, considering that I blundered every game, is I'm okay with. And and I just lost. I lost 3 points only. So
you actually got very good positions in many games. I mean, except from the one where you just got caught into an opening trap. Other than that, you usually get good positions.
Yeah, my openings are
yeah, you have good opening prep. I mean, it's probably above your
I know it's not the most it's not the most efficient way I could be improving, but I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, that's always important. I always tell you that. I think that's important. The fact that you enjoy it, it still makes you a better player. So that's harm.
Yeah, we had a lot of e4 openings too. Like and like I don't even think I had a single. I didn't have a d4 opening. Like I was black only 2 games, but against d4 like or c4 or offbeat like flank openings or hypermodern openings, that's where my theory is not as good. But like when I play e4, I feel my openings are very, very strong, and I think it's very rare for me to be worse out of the open. Like I think I usually have better opening knowledge if it's an e4 opening. Yeah. So my next tournament. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Now you probably need to work more on your conversion technique, tactics, and
I've been working on the tactics. Yeah. Time management is definitely one of my weak points. I've been working on puzzles lately, which is, I think it's helping my calculation. But yeah, definitely my time management is one of my weak points right now. My end games are improving because I've been working a fair bit, with Devretsky's endgame manual stuff. That book is massive, man. And I'm doing, especially like
That's why I found books.
Yeah, and I'm doing the 5th edition, which is even larger, by Karsten Mueller, and I'm doing it with the video add-on by Erwin Lamy. It's an unbelievable massive book, but it's so freaking good. It's like the Bible. It's the Bible of endgames, right? Yeah, it's unbelievable. So I've been working that time management. Certainly, I need work on. I don't really know what to do about that though. just to be aware of it, I guess.
I think it's important to play. The fact that you're going to play a lot of tournaments will help. I mean, it's not something easy to tackle if you don't play over the board. It's you just have to play tournaments and notice this stuff. That this stuff is happening in the first place. So then when you spend 10 minutes on a move that's not so important, you will notice that it wasn't the best decision in the world. That you might need to save up that time for later. I mean, competition is going to force you to start thinking that way. So experience is important in that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I have, as I said last time, I've got six more games coming up for the next tournament in 3 weeks. Right. 3 weeks, it'll come up quick. And again, I'll be in the under 1900 section. But there's a under 1700 class prize, which it'd be nice. I've got some chances for that.
That's your target.
Well, no. Well, my goal is always to just improve my rating. So even if I improve my rating by like 15 points or something, I'll be happy. So that that or the consolation prize is to one good upset. So like if I beat like an 1850 or something, or even an 1800, that will feel good as well.
Definitely doable. Both things.
And so I'm looking forward to that. It'll be at the same venue, the one that you said looked like a large playing hall. But there's yesterday or a couple of days ago they cut off the registration because it's too many people for the COVID protocols. So 205 they cut it at 205. That's still a lot of players though.
That's it.
Cool. I think we could have gotten easily 300. It's chess. Well, and if there was no COVID, 350. That's amazing. It's chess in a huge boom now. Players. So many players. It's unbelievable. Thank you very much for that. Have fun on your trip. If you just got to rebook a place.
If I get a place.
Are they all sold out? Is it like a really popular destination? I guess it is, right? No. Okay.
It is, but there's a lot of offer. I mean, I was worried, but actually,
and they gave you no notice, right? Like they just told you.
No. I just notified. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Just 1 day before trying.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Well, never again with them. Okay.
Definitely.
Well, thanks again. Have fun on your little vacation, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Good luck.